Street gospel, light of the tempo. Sword swing, killer live from the ghetto. The hood messenger, let them know hell's close. Blackberry on the devil in the black.
Yo, what is up? Welcome to the Street Gospel Podcast, and I'm your host, Dave One. And we got a special bonus episode today. So in the past, we've only had one repeat guest, and that was my boy Taco God. Taco God, if you haven't met Taco God, this dude right here is like, he goes to all the spots, gives the reviews of every taco place. Now, what makes him unique is dude is a white guy, so he gets flack for that. But he's been in taco spots than any other Mexican dude out there. So he's the only guy that I've had on twice because we just vibe, and we just have a good conversation, and he's a great dude. But today, I got on a repeat guest. So, I got to play a little bit of music because, a little intro music. So this dude right here, well, he's really that dude. Let's just say that. He's been on once before. This was about almost exactly like 2 years ago. He came on early for us. Really gave us a good boost, man. I got to give him thanks give him his flowers because he gave us some credibility, not only in the streets, but in that we were really doing this professionally. We were trying to make a name for ourselves. So he came on and showed us some love. He is a father, a husband, all pro in the NFL. Played for not my favorite team, but we can talk about that.
Right.
He coaches. He helps in the community. He's about helping LA and going down fighting for this city. He's just a good, solid dude. Was on TV, got his own podcast. A lot of things have changed since he was last on, but we'll get right into it. I want to welcome to the Street Gospel Podcast, Mr. Marcellus Wiley.
My man, one love, brother. And I'm glad I keep up with Taco Guy because he covers my favorite thing in this world, I would say, which is the consumption of a good taco, damn it. Nothing better than that, man. So I got to invite him over to the crib one time, let him get one of them yellow corns that I got that orange grease hitting it. Oh, yeah. Like baby boy on the elbow, see if he put me up there in the top 5.
Yeah, man. Taco Guy's a good dude, man. The only thing he's not going to like, and you know what he's not going to like about your tacos?
He ain't going to like the ketchup?
He ain't going to like the ketchup, man. He is not like the ketchup.
Look, Dave, if I'm going to be open-minded that the white guy is covering tacos, he better be open-minded that the black guy like ketchup on his tacos. Let's do this the same way.
All right. That's fair, man. He's a good dude. You guys will get along good. Only one problem. But we get along good, too. He's a Chiefs fan. And he's a hardcore Chiefs fan. I mean, he's like one of those dudes he's just as bad as you because he'll rub it in. He'll rub it in. He'll pour salt on the wound. But, I mean, I can't say nothing to him. Look, I can't say something. I'm a Raider fan. I'm sorry, Marcellus. I'm a Raider fan. That's probably where we part ways.
You're so LA, though. That's so like LA. I'm a Laker fan. I'm a Raiders fan. I'm a Dodgers fan. Like, they got to you young. I get it.
I mean, I was there at the game when Bo got hurt. I was at that game. We used to go all the time. $10 tickets to the Coliseum. Raiders were winning. That was the ticket back in the day. You know, it was the place to be, and it was affordable. We were coming from Southeast LA. Just you didn't have to take no freeway, take the streets to get there. You wouldn't park in the parking lot. You would park in somebody's yard.
Back there, like $8 probably. Yeah, I must have Raider hat, t-shirt, and khakis. Just show up to the Raider game, just going hard like you baby Cube. I love it.
And it looked good. You can't beat the colors, but yeah, man. Teams, man, back in the day. I mean, that's there was. I like black, so I always wear black. So I always got a Raider. I got a Raider jacket, old school, Ice Cube for Christmas from the wifey, but I haven't worn it yet because I don't want to get jumped. But
seriously, for real.
But man, so let's get to you, man. A lot has changed in the last 2 years. When you were on here, you had your own show on Fox. You kind of was there controversy with that? Did you step away? I didn't really get that clear, or did because there's some people that say well, if you give your resignation, it's not like you're getting fired. And you know what I mean?
Right.
Say you were going to get fired and then you quit. What's the true story here, man?
Yeah, the true story is I had the show Speak for Yourself. I was on the show. I shouldn't even claim it. Like, because I got recruited to be on that show. I was at ESPN for 11 years. And then 2018 comes. I'm still at ESPN. I'm doing Sports Nation. I'm very keen on support. And I know the love language of business is money. But also there are other things that can tell you how much they really love it going forward, how much they love you. So the easiest one is just to say how much they paying you, right? But that's not the only answer. So I was getting paid at ESPN, and then Fox offered to pay me as well. So I was going to eat either way. But I left ESPN because I didn't feel the support. It wasn't the paycheck. It was the fact that I was on a show that had like 5 or 6 other co-hosts that kept rotating, that just kept coming in and out and leaving for other opportunities, a greener pasture. So Max Kellerman, Carrie Champion, Carissa Thompson, Michelle Beto, LZ Granderson. Those are all the people I worked with on Sports Nation on an amazing show. But if you take a step back from the platform, the notoriety, and the money, and you start saying, how much do they care about this if they letting everybody come in and out of here like that, right?
Right.
So it felt rudderless in a sense. And I finally got to a place where that got me on the ropes. And then when Jason Whitlock and Fox and the execs that I knew from ESPN started recruiting me to go FS1, it made it a lot easier to go because I was like, yeah, there is something to, there's not a big future for this show. I didn't feel that support. What happened? As soon as I left, they canceled Sports Nation. So I was right. Now, I get to Fox. I'm there with Jason Whitlock. I get sold something that was a family show that was going to be a sports show. So we were kind of doing a Cosby show.
Hold on. Family show, Cosby show with Whitlock.
Yeah. Let me give you, I'll give you some understandings and some insight on Whitlock. Like,
I see you as the Mr. Winslow, and then I see him as like the Al Bundy, and he's a good dude. I follow him, and he speaks a lot of truth, man. He is who he is, and I respect that. You know what I mean? Like, he's straight up, right? I respect that more than the guy that tries to play you every time. So, anyways.
Yeah, I love Whitlock because he's not pandering. Now, do you have to agree where he's always going? No.
Yeah.
Does he add too much hot sauce to everything he says? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But the dude is who he is, and I love a firm believer in themselves, man. So that's respect. But we were going to do a family show. We had Cousin Darnell. We had Uncle Jimmy. We had Whitlock.
That's right.
He kind of was like the old man granddaddy, and I was like the young daddy, whatever it may be, big brother, little brother. And it was working. We did tremendous. We were great. And then one day he just left. Now, he went through his own negotiations. I knew he was going through that. He didn't feel properly supported and compensated. And so he left. Fine. I'm going to do the show still. So then Emmanuel Acho comes in. And then my agent left. My agent was Nick Khan. For those who don't know who he is, he's a super agent. He was. And now he runs WWE with Vince McMahon. So, he won too.
Huge.
So, yeah, huge. Big. I mean, the best dude ever, especially when it comes to business. But in terms of just his heart, amazing dude. Anyway, when he left, he told me, he's like, look, I got to swing for the fences. He's like, I could keep hitting these singles, as he called them, which is successful client, getting a piece of everything we got, and just living that life. Or he could go from being rich to wealthy. And now he's in a different conversation when you're running the WWE. So he told me that, but he planted a seed. I didn't think he really planted a seed in the moment. I didn't feel it like that. I just like, oh, that's dope. And then I started doing a show with Acho. And once again, I'm on this carousel of all the different co-hosts. Now another one done left me, and I'm down to now Acho. And no slight to Acho, but I was like, this is not what I came over here to do. And now the guy I came over here to do it with is gone, who I had tremendous success with. And we had success not because he's so likable. It's just because he going to be him. And then I'm going to be me. And then it's like, yo, woo, every day we know we getting it real. We getting it authentic. And then Acho comes in. He's a lot younger, and he's doing it his way. And it's not the way I want to do it. It's a lot fluffier, lighter. And that's not negative words. It just means on any conversation, you can take it lighthearted. You can have the cocktail party. It's Dak top 5. you know,
Right.
or you can say, for real, what are the organizational issues with the Dallas Cowboys? And let's break it down without just trying to pile on. Let's be real. Let's talk through it. Let's discuss this. So we had moments in the show where I really enjoyed it. And we had moments in the show that were challenging because I knew I was going to end up holding Nacho back. Because I didn't want to do what he was wanting to do. And I'm sure he didn't want to do what I was wanting to do. So we were just two different paths. It was okay. That's my dog. Now, contract time comes around. And there's only one way you're going to silence this growing concern I have of here we go again, changing voices. And here we go again. This is not exactly what I wanted to do. What was that going to be? Overpay me. Just overpay me to just shut up all of that issue that I had. Other than that, I was going to have a problem. So we came in and they were like, look, we want to offer you something, but it's not going to be the same show. And once I heard that, I knew it wasn't going to be the same dope. And it wasn't going to be the same flow. So I was like, all right, what else you got? And from that point on, once they said, what else you got? They offered me First Things First, but that was New York based. There was a huge conversation to bring it to LA. They may still do it in LA, but it wasn't at that moment I had to make a decision.
Right.
So long story short, man, they didn't overpay me for what they wanted me to do, but they still were very respectful, gave me two other shows and opportunities. They wanted me to be back, and I wanted to be back. But then I know too much about this independent space, and I know a lot more now, but even at that time, I was like, dog, I could make money anywhere. I got an audience. I'm going to be myself. But more than that, I want to just talk about what I want to talk about. Like, right. I'm almost 50. I got kids. I can't be up there arguing and talking bad about Westbrook or Dak. And then my kids look at them as heroes, and they really are heroes. And I'm up here clowning these dudes. And it just didn't feel good to me. So instead of throwing a middle finger to the whole industry and a middle finger to the show and a middle finger to Acho, like, I don't like all that. I ain't that big and important. I'll go do my own thing. That's where I'm at.
Dang, man. You know, a lot of people, I mean, two things with this. So one is to leave a check, basically, right? To leave a check, to leave prime time, basically. You're on a major channel here. But then to go and say, well, I got an audience. I got people that follow me, because that's what we're seeing in the industry right now. I heard like Jeff Van Gundy just recently got fired from his job at ESPN, and people are already talking about like he's going to start his own show and he'll be fine. I mean, people are starting to realize you don't need a big. It's kind of like when the artists and the rappers and stuff discovered that I can go independent and make much money, right? And I don't have a boss telling me what I can say or what I can rap, who I can collab with. I just do my own thing when I want to do it, and I keep all the funds. Is it kind of like that?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great parallel. Let me tell you what I went through. Like, nobody wants to give up that check first to me. You know, the money over the fame for me. It's funny, when I was at FS1, everyone was clowning me like, oh, you on the little baby JB station. You're not on ESPN, right? But then when I leave FS1, everybody like, oh, you left the big stage. I was like, I thought it was a small stage, and whatever. That's the point. You don't listen to people. Yeah. So I knew it was a big time platform, big time stage. But the thing about it is, it took me back to who I am. So I'm the kid that was getting recruited by all these big schools. And I ain't go to any of them big schools. I went to Columbia. Now, at the time, everybody laughed at me. At the time, everybody clowned me. Oh, dog, what the hell are you doing going to Ivy League school? You ain't going to make it to the NFL. Well, that was a dumb decision. Why would you do that? Why would you leave the security of going to a big school like UCLA, Cal, and all the schools after me and go that way? Why would you make it harder on yourself? How'd that turn out, y'all? You know what I mean? Like, it's just not – look, I got one life to live, and I'm going to bet with my chips. And I'm going to watch you bet with your chips. Now, the problem is when we try to exchange chips and it doesn't work out for you, you got regret. I will never have a regret doing it this way because it's my way. Right. So I knew I was giving up the check. That was the most painful part, frankly. And that's crazy because I went through this experiment. I said, what are you leaving if you really leave? And I wrote check. And then I said, what else? And I wrote down resources and support. Like, they make it easy for you. You go into a dressing room, there's a suit already on a mannequin. All you gotta do is take it off and put it on the same body parts that the mannequin has it on. Then you go on the stage and they already got your notes printed out. And then you get up there and somebody's patting your face with makeup and stuff. And then they say, go. And then after those 2 hours, go home, rinse and repeat it again. Not a lot of heavy lifting. Right. I knew I was giving that up to have to do it my way, which meant I was going to have to find my team to do that. And I was like, other than that, the busyness of the business.
Yeah.
What am I leaving? And I was like, I could get that check because I knew too many independent dudes and how much money they were making going direct to consumer. So the industry shifted, man. I'm not a pioneer because if I were, I would have been here before the pandemic. Then it'd been a wrap.
Yeah. Yeah. That time, everybody was watching just online, doing online stuff.
Yeah. So I'm excited, man. I've been here. You know, I left Fox in September, October. Contract was up in July. For those out there like, man, I thought you got fired or whatever. My contract was up in July. I didn't leave till October. Y'all want to know what those months were? Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. We going back and forth. So it was a great opportunity. I love everyone over there. Different levels of love, but I love them all over there.
Right.
But point being, I'm happy, man. I've been at this for 5 months. I took like a few month break to figure out my game plan, get my blueprint, like architect what I was going to do. And I started in January, really February, beginning of February, right when the Super Bowl was ended. Bad timing because football's ended and I'm starting. But in 5 months, dog, I got 86,000 subscribers on my YouTube, which is enormous growth for an off-season football show, I guess, you know? So excited to what's coming.
From some old football player, right? Yeah.
Thank you.
And then you're doing great on Spotify. I listen to the show. I like the format. I like that it's like you always do that perfect time. Mine sometimes people say that I goes a little long sometimes. Yours is like that 35, 45 minute. You can go to the gym, put it on, and you get all the updates. You get Marcellus takes on a lot of things, and then it's done. And we'll see you tomorrow or see you in a couple of days. So I think that format is really good, really working for you, man.
I appreciate it, man. Yeah, you know, it's interesting that less is more. You know, make them want to come back, but also know your audiences and know what their lifestyles like. Like no one has like the block of time to consume all this great content. On top of, it's not just what I'm doing, other people are doing it in the same space that you like. Then it's like, you know what I mean, movies I got on my list that I need to see, but I ain't got the 2 hours to give them the streaming time. And then it's like going to the movies. Then it's like going to the hangout, go to dinner, go with your boy, play with your kids. I'm like, you got to give these people a little bite-sized parts. So I really bought into less is more because at first I was being long-winded because I was like, I got so much to say. But I was like, nah, let's just make sure it's efficient and effective.
Yeah, I love that. You talk about less is more time to do what you want to do, to be a part of your kid's life. How big a part was that of you making that change?
Oh, you know me so well.
You got little ones.
Huge, huge. All right, right now I'm in my studio, which is nothing but a converted bedroom from my basement. So I don't drive to work anymore. My traffic is stairs. Go down them, damn it. So that's good. But while I'm going down those stairs, I'm looking into bedrooms and seeing kids, hearing my kids, playing with my kids. I got an hour or 2 hours back in my day just because I'm not on the road going back and forth. I don't have the same prep time, which meant I've been in the room with a bunch of producers or them calling me and talking and not really giving me exactly what I need, but doing their job, but not, I know what I need. Now I can go get it. But really, I almost cried thinking about this. So when they offered me First Things First, one of the scenarios we ran through was like a really life experience. It got to a point where at first it was going to come to LA and I was like, done deal. And then it was like, nah, it's not coming to LA. And I was like, damn. But we got the Strahan plan, as they call it, for New York. You can fly out, helicopter to the hotel, and it's real lean and mean. But I was like, okay, but I will leave Sunday night and then be back Friday night. So I'm still on the big platform, making the big check. Would you do it, Marcellus? Now, my first thought was like, hell no. But I was like, you got to be a leader of this family and make sacrifices if necessary. So it's like getting drafted. You don't want to, some people don't want to get drafted to Buffalo because of the city. Like, I want to go to cold ass Buffalo.
Right.
But then you go because you got drafted to go to Buffalo. Well, I was in a different position where I could actually say, no, I don't want to go to Buffalo. And I was like, do I want to go to New York? I was like, I don't. I'm an LA guy at heart. I already went to school there. But it could be worse places to go. So I literally, for 2 weeks, my wife and I was home, but I acted like I wasn't home just to see how much the kids and her would miss me, miss my presence. And dog, the first day my wife was spinning, she was on her spin bike in the gym, and she's watching it virtually with her trainer, Aaron. And literally, one of the kids dropped something upstairs. Another kid started crying because they fell. Another kid just wanted seconds on breakfast. And my wife is doing her class for an hour. I was like, this ain't gonna work, bro. Yeah. I was like, I ain't make it one morning without all of them needing me in some form or fashion.
Right.
So in that moment, I made up my mind, but I still went through the process of the negotiations to flesh it all out to see if it can work, which I knew it wouldn't.
Yeah, I think people don't factor in time, right? I mean, time is probably the most valuable thing we have. And people don't factor in time. They look at the dollars, they look at the check, whatever, and there are the position, the power, and they're like, I'll do it. Fame, I'll do it. And then the time, especially with your children, with you having congratulations. I saw your daughter graduated.
Thank you.
With you having an older daughter, you realize like how time flies by. Like I'm looking and I tell everybody this. When old people used to tell me when I had my kids were young, hey, enjoy them because they grow up fast. I used to be like, they're 4 and a couple months old. We're good. Now I look 27, 23, and I'm like, what happened? I wish we could go back to Legos and Jimmy Neutron and stuff. You know what I mean? And I'm like, man, what happened? But time just it goes.
Yeah.
And I think people don't factor that in.
Yeah, time is the most important thing. Not one of. We qualified a lot because we know how important money is as well. It's weird. Money got this rap where we know how important it is, but we don't want to always hug it. And, because it's like, everyone heard the Bible scripture, money is the root of all evil, which is incomplete. It's really the love of money. Exactly. And, that's when look, if I had the love of money, I'll be in New York right now, missing my kids for 5 days in a row and just been like, hey, at least you got this big old house. But I was thankful enough to have education, thankful enough to save, and thankful enough that I have an audience that followed me and is following me, and I'm growing in this space, and I'm able to still take care of my family, no problem. Here's the thing. You ain't getting time back, bro. And, there are real reminders out there. You get money back. Like, somebody could call me literally tomorrow. All right, the head of Amazon, whoever, Jeff Bezos, could call me. He'd be like, who's this Marcellus? I just saw this clip. I was just at the beach, and I saw this Marcellus guy. Who's that? Call him up and get me on the phone. He's like, dude, you're the most amazing guy I've ever met. I'm going to write you a $20 million check right now. I got money back. But no one walking this planet is going to give you that moment back, give you that time back, right? And I've lost my best friend when I was 11. I lost my mom when I was 35. I lost my opportunity to be with my daughter every single day when she was growing up. I have very stark reminders of how valuable time is. So the last thing you're going to do is slang me and sell me on some money over time, because I know how precious it is.
Right, man. It's hard to get that to the younger generation, to them, to enjoy the time. You know what I mean? Enjoy this time. I saw you speaking to Mount Sac, not too far from me right here. And
yes.
I look at those guys now and I'm like, man, it may seem hard, man, but this is the life. This is game time. This is college time. Enjoy it, man. Sometimes the youth gets too caught up in I have anxiety or I have too many problems. It's like, yo, listen, you don't have any problems. You're doing good. Just enjoy the time you have right now.
Preach, man. Yeah, I was at Mount Sac. Crazy, man. I'm talking to kids that play ball that I'm literally twice their age and some. So I'm looking in this room like, this is unreal. And I feel like old man over here trying to preach to these kids, but I got to do it. The point being, like, this whole mental health and, how it's now being prioritized, which is good. But I think what's the bad of this mental health movement is that everyone is just tapping out and using that as cover when it takes practice, it takes hard work to be healthy. It takes dedication and sacrifice to be healthy in any respect, physically, mentally, spiritually. You can't be spiritually healthy and never read a holy book, never been to church, never meditate, never go inward. You can't be physically healthy if you don't eat right, if you don't take your butt to the gym, and you don't actually be an active part of life, right? You can't be mentally healthy if you can't fight through circumstances, know what positive things you should be around, negative things you should start to get out of your life. You can't cave into temptation and then say you're depressed. That's not how it goes. So I just look at everyone and saying, you got to put the work in, and that includes mental health. And I understand that there's a stigma that comes with it, and there's a real sensitive conversation to have with mental health. But I tell every kid, soon they come to me with this anxiety and depression, first thing I say is, welcome to life. Then I say, after you welcome to life, what are you dealing with? And let's find the antidotes, because every single problem that you have in your life is laced with the solution. Just got to dig and go find it.
That's good, man. I like that. So you've been doing this coaching thing lately, coaching young men, coaching young people. But I saw you coaching your son, right? His football team. And I see these little speeches you're giving him. And I saw your son the other day. He's in the back and he's just playing around, right? And you're doing this good speech. And I was like, look at his son. He's over there dancing. And he's just like, yeah, Dad, I hear this every day. Don't tell my friends.
Right. I love it, man. It's so good, Mike. Man, look, I'm telling you, I didn't want to coach because I know I'm pretty impatient. Like in my head as a player.
That's what I wanted to ask you. As an ex-player, ex-players don't always make good coaches.
Nah, not at all for that reason to start. Like, we know how to do it.
Right.
And then you get around kids or anybody who doesn't, how long you going to wait for them to figure it out? And it's like, dog, I ain't got much time, dog. What the hell? Do it. I said have contained, and you snap. So that was my fear until my son got of age to play. And then I had a choice. Am I going to trust him with another man, another coach, which I don't know what his spirit is. I don't know what his character is. And frankly, I don't respect his football knowledge or basketball knowledge as much as I respect mine. And people are like, oh, damn, I don't know it all, but I know if you add all those things up, good luck beating me. And I love my son. You certainly don't love him more than me. So I'm like, but I don't want to do it just to coach my son. I promised myself I'm coaching the team and my son is on it, not just coaching my son. I've run into that issue with some coaches, like, dog, and I've had to check some guys in the moment. I'm like, hey, bro, I know that's your boy, but you have to coach them all or go home. Like, seriously, just that simple, because we're here for a greater mission. So my son is amazing in sports. I won't lie. It doesn't mean he's going pro, y'all. Calm down. It's a marathon in front of us, but he's insane in sports, much better than I was, and I was a killer from hello. But I didn't care about necessarily him being this next prospect. I wanted him to learn the intersection of life and sports. I wanted him to know how valuable the lessons he was learning in sports that he could take to his life, so I could make a better person, not just a better athlete. And that's why I coach him. Now, we out there killing cats now because my son's a beast and we got some other beasts, and we really know how to approach the game. That said, it's just to make sure my son doesn't waste his time not learning what he should learn from all these experiences.
Right. I think that's good, man. I think that's hit the money right on the head, man. I think you coaching, sometimes you get a bad coach. You can go a whole season. That could turn the kid off, right? Totally turn the kid from sports, from having a good time. I'm not talking about just the discipline and the hard work. We put that in there, but a bad coach will turn the kid sour really quick. So I'm glad.
Yeah, and they don't know how to develop them. It's not just bad coaches, which is obviously that's the worst, but there's even good coaches that don't know how to manage the expectations and also develop players, because you're going to get a stud and you're going to get a dud. Now, you got to make sure that dud knows there's something in him that can contribute. and bring it out. But a lot of these coaches want to win the game. And when they want to win the game, especially they go against me, former NFL player, they do everything they can to complain, to the tricks, all of the just problems. And I still win. And I'm like, you know what? Worse than that is you're teaching these kids the wrong way. And it's contagious. Complaining is contagious. Yes. And I'm looking at these coaches like, y'all suck. Because y'all go over it, and then you're not using all your players. You're trying to beat me with only your best players. Your worst player doesn't even get a chance to play, and you still got beat down. And now that kid don't even want to play ball no more because he didn't get the rock. He didn't even get a touch. He didn't get a play. It's crazy, man. So I'm out there kind of policing the police, as they say, making That's sure good. It goes the right way.
A guy from Compton policing the police. I mean, come on, man. Come a long way.
Coming straight from the underground. Homeboy got it bad because he's brown.
Hey, man, let me ask you this. You posted a little clip the other day, and it was two kids just going head up, football. Boom, right?
Yeah.
And you said this will never be your son. And what did you mean by that? Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
Oh, my son not playing tackle football until he's in high school. He'll never be at that age playing tackle football. And look, run your house. For everybody over there mad at me or don't agree, good for you. I agree with you. Don't let your son play or let your son play. Whatever you want, that's how it goes in your hood. In my hood, no, sir, because it's unnecessary. I give you two reasons. One, you don't need 9-year-olds getting concussed, your 9-year-old spraying knees, twisted fingers, whatever comes from playing football. Because one thing that's a guarantee in football is going to hurt. It's guaranteed. Yeah. And the second thing is, let's just say you want your son to go to high school, college, pro in the sport. You don't need to be banging when you're 9. You don't need to bang. I played with so many teammates. They're like, I ain't play no damn Pop Warner. I picked up high school football, whatever it means. So my thing is like, look, no matter how you want them to go in this game, I'm not trying to shut down all tackle football because some of my friends actually coaching there. K-Mac, Snoop, etc. They coach tackle football, and they all try to recruit my son. I'm like, hell no, he ain't going over there. But I did it. That's why I want to keep it around. I played tackle football from the age of 8 all the way through. I don't want to ban it. I just think it's unnecessary. Therefore, I'm not going to participate. But for those who are out there getting it and they love it, I got some teammates that their sons, they play tackle football at a young age, and I support it. I go to the games, but it won't be my boy out there. We're going to wait to high school. And if he wants it, in high school, we go to dinner. Your favorite restaurant, son. We're going to spend at least 3 hours eating and talking. And I'm going to give him a full body, mind, spiritual examination of what it takes to play football. Show him these crooked fingers. Show him these scars on my head and all my body. Talk about the surgeries. And then talk about all the amazing things that I learned from it. After that dinner, if he wants to play, it's on him because he's starting to write his ticket for his life.
I think that's good, man. Yeah, I don't agree with like you said, parents who do what they want to do. For me, if that was my kid, it's a long road from 8 years old to high school or college and getting hit that many times. You get hit enough during the game, but practice right. Is like head up. I mean, it's pretty intense. We mentioned parenting, and I always say that I tell my kids this. I always tell them, whatever you don't like about me that you feel I didn't do, when you become a parent, you make that change. You take the good stuff that I gave you and you improve upon it. And then if anything that you didn't like and say, man, I wish he would have did this, then just you get better. So every generation gets better. How did you get better from the previous generation in your parenting?
Yeah, I love that, man. I borrowed a lot of that, what you just said. I just try to fill in the gaps. I would say that the easiest one was being more emotionally present. Not just saying I'm physically there, but you're not connecting with the kids. My parents were always there for me. I grew up with my parents, nuclear family, 2-parent household. But there were times where I wanted to go deeper than just the physical realm in terms of our conversations. Like, let's break it down. Let's talk through it. Know how I'm feeling and then just like navigate me from this moment. But it wasn't that. It was always like destinational. It felt like, okay, you're here, go there. Well, how am I gonna get there? Figure it out. Or I'm here for you once you figure it out, etc. And that was just how they were raised. Like,
right.
They, it wasn't like they didn't love me to the fullest. They're like, I'm not equipped to navigate you through that because I never had that navigational experience myself. So then it made me, as a kid, start to go dig in myself to figure out ways to get where I had to go and feel good in the process and to learn. That's why I have such good mental health, because I've been fighting, dog. I know, and it's a fight. What do you think God and the devil is in terms of story or reality? It means it's a fight every day, bro. And if you ain't ready for that fight, you ain't ready to live. And you can't live as well as you can. You got to fight. Happiness is not a place. It's a choice. And you got to choose it over the opposite emotions. So I learned that my teenage years, when gang banging was at its height, when peer pressure was its fullest, when I wasn't fresh like that, I didn't look fresh. Like I wasn't wearing Fila and Lacoste for teeth. I didn't have a 5.0. I ain't have every girl looking at my Turkish. I ain't have a herringbone. I wasn't with a Raider jacket. Actually, I had a Raider jacket. Got jacked the first day. Point being,
man, those
like,
days.
dog, I had to learn that all that don't matter. It's me. And so I'm doing that with my kids now. I'm trying to make sure they don't get on that train that tells them all this stuff matters. I'm like, nah, dog. Your time and how you feel and how you take care of it. Time, talent, treasure. Let's go out there and show that to the world. It'll take care of itself.
I love that, man. And I love the fact that you said you acknowledge that your parents weren't equipped. You know what I mean? I think a lot of people don't really look at how their parents were raised or where they came from. You know what I mean? Maybe my wife talk about this all the time. Like, do you realize, like, my wife's family grew up in Watts. My father-in-law, his mother left the house, left them with just brothers and sisters and the dad. You know, my parents grew up tough. And so we always said, you know, we're not going to use that as an excuse why we can't become good parents. You know what I mean? We love our parents. We acknowledge them. They loved us. They did their best for us. And I appreciate them. Have I improved upon that? Yeah, I think I improved upon that. And I tell my kids, then you improve upon me. You know what I mean? It's just that simple. But coming to the, I guess, a reconciliation in your own self to say, like, hey, man, I didn't have that. I think that's huge, because I think a lot of kids use, you know, my parents didn't do this for me. My parents didn't do that for me. They didn't do that for me. And that's an excuse throughout their life. And I'm not saying that doesn't affect you. It does. But there's a point in your life where you got to say, all right, man, I got to go get it. I got to get this done.
Yeah, man. The way I say it is, you got to be greater than your greatest excuse. And we all have excuses. Like my mama was from Compton, not like me, Compton. I was in Compton I was born there, lived there to age 5, and then I was there every weekend. My mama grew up in Compton and had 3 brothers in the streets. 2 of them murdered, 1 of them committed suicide, like Compton.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad is from the South, Tyler, Texas. He picked cotton in the summers for $1. I mean, if that ain't just slavery, but you just give him $1 so it's legal, that's where my daddy's from. And that they made me. And like I look at everybody, and sometimes it comes off heartless. And sometimes people are like, where's your empathy? I'm like, 1, my experience should show you my empathy. I actually did this, and you can too. You looking at me like I'm special. Nah, I just stayed the course, homie. And I ain't using Compton, South Central, poor, on food stamps. Well, I'm not, whatever you gonna write down, the system. I got one life, bro. You think I'm gonna die talking about what I could have been, or I'm gonna die talking about this stuff was the reason I didn't get it? Nobody, look, have you ever lost a football game or any sporting event? Let me tell you what they don't want to hear. Why you lost. They'll ask you, but they don't want to hear it. They're like, oh, this fool. It's almost like when somebody say, hey, man, what's up? How you doing? Please don't tell them your problems. They ain't trying to hear that. And when you go up to somebody talking, oh, from the hood, oh, man, the system, oh, man, white people, man, I'm just telling you, if they your real friend, they rolling their eyes. Like, man, if you don't shut up and go get it, be greater than your greatest excuse.
I love that, man. I love that. Man, let's switch gears here real quick, because I wanted your take on this really quick. So last week, SCOTUS rejected using race as a factor for college admissions. All right. And what did you think about that, first of all?
Yeah, but first thing I noticed is like they ain't do it for the military. They like, nah, y'all brothers and sisters go out there and still fight. Go shoot somebody and get shot, but your education, nah. I like the decision for this reason, and I have reasons why I have hesitation, but I do like it ultimately. What I like it for is affirmative action has not worked. Now, there are individuals who I'm certain that have succeeded with it, but it's not for the individual, it's for a greater good. And it didn't have the impact for the greater good. Look at the metrics for the minorities that Black people, let's start here. Good Lord, we are getting left behind. Even in education, it's getting worse and worse. The have and have not gap is widening. Like whatever you want to say, this is for the underprivileged. This is for the underserved. This is for Black, brown, whatever you want to say. There are metrics that say in totality, this doesn't work. You want to know why it doesn't work? Because it suggests to someone who needs to know in culture, you got to work hard, stay focused, and put yourself in the best position, and then you will be rewarded. That maybe even if not, that's not the scenario for you, there's still a way that you can get it. And you just can't do that. It's like you have a kid, if you're not focused in your discipline, if you don't tell a kid yes and no, and you give them some maybes, the kid's all over the place and it's not going to give you his best effort. So for me, I didn't support the people who were like, oh man, this is what I heard the most in criticism. Oh man, people done took advantage of affirmative action. Now they don't want nobody else to take advantage of it. And I'm like, are you looking at one person or are you looking at the people? Because the people have not been done better by affirmative action.
Yeah, man. I think what really the stat was, I think the problem for me was, it wasn't working. I think the intention maybe back in the day was to help. And I think maybe that intention was right. It just didn't. I think that original intention was to raise the bar. Like let's help a few. And then the generations after that will know like, hey, this is the bar. Let's set it. Boom. I think the problem when I had was when I seen like the Asian people, like they were like getting rejected. So I was telling people, because people were like, well, man, these people, they have money, and I'm like, look, man, talk about growing up in the hood. I've seen Korean families come here, not know English, save their money, work cheap jobs, buy a little liquor store, get robbed a bunch of times, right? Get held up, and then sell that store, put their kids through school, sell that store, and then move on, man. So I think when I was like, yeah, that's kind of the way it should be done, right? I mean, it's not by a store, but something, and you're making it better for the next generation, and hopefully that'll be good. But when they started getting rejected, you know what I mean? And they're like first generation, I'm like, their plight is just like the Hispanics, right? You come in here and they need this too. So I was kind of like, this is kind of, not, I wouldn't say reverse racism, but it's kind of like it's working the opposite of the way it should work.
Yeah, exactly. You're right. I mean, it's further discrimination to try to make up for the past discrimination. And it's like, you're never going to make that up. Like, you're not going to erase slavery. You're not. So stop trying to do it in that respect. Do it in ways and there are other measures that you can do it. But what I saw is like, I don't feel I was affirmative action. I felt that. Now, it's funny now, everything that happened in the 80s and 90s and before the other day, if you Black or Latino and succeeded, you had nothing but affirmative action. I was like, dog, valedictorian over here. Like, dog, do you know what I was doing? Killing it. I was killing everybody in the class. It didn't matter. So I was like,
you can't win.
Okay, that's what we got to do now to make sense of this, huh? Whatever. That, and then they were like, what about the legacy admissions? And I'm like, damn. My daughter just graduated Columbia. I don't know what to do with this because I'm one of them legacy people. Like, I'm all over the place in this one.
Yeah, true.
But to the point, I never want anything to whisper to anybody. Softened, lesser expectations. All y'all human beings have the same expectations, and I want a world where we judge it on merit. Because frankly, some people just don't want it, but they want the hookup. And I don't want that to be. And then, for affirmative action to be focused, it was grabbing the superior minorities and taking them to new situations. Like you said, an inspiration for a higher bar. We got a lower bar. And now I'm like, okay, bro, we got to fix this. Even if it means select people won't get those opportunities, they're still qualified. They'll find their way.
Yeah, I think probably the competitiveness in you, right, as an athlete, is like the best should get it. That's it. You know what I mean? Yep. The best should be the one that gets the opportunity. And I think I'm hoping that it raises the bar for everybody, man, to say, hey, you need to be here. And obviously we're all in the race. Some people have some better advantages than others. You know what I mean? But you're a testament to that, because you didn't have the advantages. I'm sure your daughter had some advantages that you didn't have. And I'm sure when she has kids, they're going to have more advantages, but that's the way it should be.
Yeah. And I love you saying,
somebody's got to set the bar.
That. That's it. It's the bar. It's an expectation. It's a discipline. It's a culture. It's a standard. And look, that's why I talk like this. And people sometimes get mad at me, or they try to call me out and all that. I'm like, dog, one thing you ain't going to do is lie to me. I'm bilingual, but I'm not bilingual like I'm fluent in Spanish. No, I'm bilingual because I can speak have and have nots. And a lot of cats be out here theorizing. And then, so when I start talking, I'm like, dog, the same schools you clowning, same neighborhoods you clowning, the impoverished and all that I dealt with, I still got there. And don't act like I'm some special dude. So if you want it, go get it, and you can get it. And when they say, nah, but it ain't like that for everybody, I say, that's life, bro. Everybody ain't gonna make it. Have you ever took a look at the pyramid of success? There's very little room at the top. So if you're trying to make everybody go to the top, you're in the wrong country. It's called socialism. Like let's talk a different conversation. So I'm not here with the excuses, bro. I set a standard in my house. My daughter got a master's from Columbia. I think my standard is working, and I think everybody needs to borrow from that expectation. Put that demand out there and make sure you meet it. No exceptions.
That's it. So what if your son comes to you and says, I don't want to go to Columbia. Dad, I don't want to go to college. I think, I'm just going to chill. I'm just going to chill for a couple years. And
everything was good till you said chill. No, you ain't chilling.
I'm just going to explore a little bit, and I'm trying to figure this out. What is your words to your son?
Well, one, if he's at 18 trying to figure it out, I hear some of that, because look, you've been under my roof all this time, so there is something to that freedom, but we got to have a plan with this. Yes. So with the plan to figure it out, we got to know what that really means, because we ain't about to just start kicking it. Because, old habits, oh, man, like they're hard to break. But as my coach used to say, so he'll be in that 18-year habit of being under my roof, which means expectations, standards, discipline. And then that's a hard habit to break. But this is the same parallel. It takes forever to get into shape, and it takes no time to get out of it. Right. So, 18 years of what I built up is amazing until he do 6 months of not doing shit, chasing all these girls around. And then all of a sudden, he out of shape. He mentally gone. Then he gonna feel depressed. He gonna feel like he lost his way. He gonna be anxious. I'm like, dog, no, you out of shape. You gone. We lost you. Get back in shape. So that's why you got to stay in the groove. Go to college for that reason alone. Stay active in the learning process and the networking process to get human capital, to get opportunities and options. So it's a tough sell to me to come in and talk about you're going to be chilling. Now, if you don't want to go to Columbia, you want to go to Harvard, or you want to go to UCLA, go ahead, bro, if it's the best school for you. But you ain't chilling, not on my watch. Hell.
I love the way you equated it to working out. I tell people the same thing, but I use sleep. I said, you could go to sleep for 6 days straight, right? Sunday through Friday. But if you go to bed late, and you can feel good the whole week, but if you stay out late on Saturday and try to wake up early Sunday, all that sleep for the whole week is gone.
Don't go.
One night. And that's a great analogy for you can be good for your whole life and have one mistake go wrong, and it ruins everything, man. We've seen that a million times.
Seen that a million times. Preach, brother.
So, man, I'm going to let you go, but I got one thing. I appreciate you coming out, man. Sharing with us, like always, man. Everything that. Oh, I forgot. How could I forget? Project Transition.
Yes.
Let me ask you about that, man. What's going on with that?
Yeah. So one of the things that I'm so blessed to do now is I am the founder of Project Transition. You can go to projecttransition.org to know more. Here's the thing. When I played 10 years in NFL, and I won Man of the Year for my teams 3 times. Very active in the community. Always thinking about that fork in the road kid who can make it, but just needs to know they will make it and that they have to put in the work to do it. And I was that kid, man. Like, I just believed in myself, and I had enough people around me that supported that belief. And I want to be one of those people for our community. So with Project Transition, we focus in what our resources. We give funding, scholarships, and programming to 5 pillars of the community, which are really 5 pillars of a person. It's the family, it's the education, economic empowerment, sports, and experiences. So anything in those 5 pillars, we support it. And we make sure that the underprivileged and the underserved are on that level playing field. Why do I do that? And why do I pick those 5? It's simple, man. Those are the main ingredients to my success. My family, my education, and the fact that I grew up poor made me really think about the power of money. The sports and experiences, like to leave the neighborhood. I remember the first time I left and crossed Wilshire. I went north of Wilshire. I thought it was amazing. I left state lines or something. I was in a different country. The first time I went to somebody's house, they had a swimming pool. First time I left California because I was running track, etc. And we already know how much community we get from sports. So all those things tie into what the fabric of a community is when it's thriving. And I believe in our people. I believe in our talent. I believe in our world. And when I say our, I mean all. However, you got to believe in it too. Last thing I leave you with is this. I always tell kids this when I'm talking to them. I believe in you. And their eyes roll. They go like, whatever, cliche, corny. And I was like, no, my presence shows that I believe in you.
Oh, yeah.
But I can only be overruled by one person, you. So that's when they all of a sudden, then they lock in like, damn, he ain't lying because I doubted him. So therefore, I ain't going to get nothing from this. But, I'm the one that's in control. He just here to support me like crutches. Crutches don't help you walk. You know what I'm saying? You got to walk and then use the crutch. Put some crutches up and see if you're going to walk. Good luck, bro. Nah, you got to be in any condition and do the work with the crutches. Yep. That's what I'm telling these kids. No crutches out there, man. Let's get to walking. Let's get to stepping.
I love that you do that, man, because number one, because you've been there, you've seen it all, you did it. So it's a great example, great testimony to those kids. Secondly, because I feel, and this is what I always say, I feel like if more athletes just gave back a little bit, like we can change the landscape, not even athletes, just those in maybe businessmen, maybe, more from the church, more rappers, actors, whoever just gave back. I mean, we can change a lot of kids' lives, and to give back, it doesn't take much. It doesn't take much to give back, right? And I think if we did that, we'd make a big impact on the next generation.
You are into our next phase of Project Transition, which is the 3 T's: time, talent, treasure. And everyone's going to be challenged. And because I'm independent, I have the space, I have the platform, I have the voice to do that. I will challenge everyone. And I have a database. You should see it. It's so funny you bring that up because that's one of our initiatives, is to challenge everyone to give back. And you give back through your time, go show up, give back through your talent, which is allow a kid to shadow you, see your world, see your profession. And you give back with your treasure. Yes, you do have to write a check. Yes, you do have to donate. Yes, you do need to go into your network and circle of friends and get money and extract resources. But time, talent, treasure, the 3 T's, will be coming soon to you. And if somebody doesn't want to give a 3T, woo, wait till I light their ass up talking about, oh, you fraud. And I will do that because it's that necessary.
Yeah, don't mess with him now. He got a platform. He'll put you on blast, man.
Hey, I tell you, the funniest thing about being in this space is because I used to be the one at the desk, and everybody, when you're at the desk, you take shots at the athletes, but no one really takes shots at you. And now I'm here, like I said before, the police. I'm the one. Look, I'm internal affairs. I'm looking at everybody that talks trash about athletes. I'm like, and I ain't lying. You should see how they be lighting my phone up. Wiley, chill. Wiley, come on, Wiley. And I was like, dog, I'm just speaking the truth. Don't do it. If so, I'm gonna do my job. And they ain't liking that, even though they love it.
I like it. I love that, man. I love it. Hey, we got one more thing. We got the Street Gospel Furious 5. And I ask you 5 furious questions, and then we get out of here. I appreciate it. All right, man. First question on the Street Gospel Furious 5. All right, here we go. 1 starts, 1 gets benched, and 1 gets traded. LeBron, Kawhi, AD.
AD or KD?
AD. Anthony.
Okay, 1 starts, 1 gets benched, and
Street close.
Okay, I'm trading Kawhi, benching AD, and starting LeBron.
Okay.
Yeah, I just don't trust Kawhi's knee. It's nothing to do with the game. If they all were healthy, it would be a whole nother conversation. I'm benching you, AD, because you at least play a lot and play enough. Play enough. And LeBron's still LeBron. God dang, that dude killed me. So yeah, I'll do it that way.
All right. I'm surprised you didn't go with your Clipper feelings. You went with truth again. So I'm happy that you did that, man. Question number 2 on the Street Gospel Furious 5. When you're in the car with the kids, the little ones, what music are you playing?
Oh, I got a playlist. It's called Wiley's World. And it's nothing but like Daddy Shark Dee 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 Dee. And then it's like all the safe songs. And I'm not just talking about language. I'm talking about context.
Right.
Because it'd be a song with no curse words, but I'm like, the dude is like, yeah, I walked up to her, backed her up, and then I'm like, yeah, you ain't cursed, but damn it, I don't need my daughters knowing that. So it is a lot. It's not even G-rated. It's whatever is softer than that. It's like for infants, and I love it because that's all we're going to listen to.
I did wrong back in the day, man. A couple songs my daughter knew when she was little probably wasn't good, and she still questions us about that now that she's a grown woman. You know, like she was like 4 years old singing, "Oh no, Big Snoop Dogg, back up."
Oh, see, yep.
Yeah.
Parents think that's cute. Nah, we can't do that.
Yeah, it's not cute at all, man. Question number 3 on the Street Gospel Furious 5. Did you ever consider your wife on the podcast? Or will you ever consider being on the podcast?
You know what? Being real, like she's about to be way more famous than me. Google it and you'll find out probably. I can't say anything about it. My wife about to have her shine, so she don't need to be on here talking to me anymore, slumming with me, as I should say. Nah, in all seriousness, no. I'm working on, like, one, she's funny, but she's nervous a little bit, like talking this stuff, because it's not her zone. Like, she's just different. I'm like, let me protect you. But when her show comes out this fall, I can't protect you from that, baby. You're gonna just do you, and it's gonna be amazing. And I also, right now I'm in a phase. I'm being selfish because I have so many co-hosts. Right. I'm just not doing guests as much as I will. Yeah. Just right now, because I'm like, I gotta get me out. People are thinking I'm Whitlock-ish or Acho-ish or Kellerman-ish, and I'm like, I'm me, dog. And if you walk with me, we going everywhere. Yeah. Now, I don't have agendas. Like you could ask me a Clipper question, I'm gonna tell you the truth. You like, now I'll joke and say something clippery, but if you ask me for real, for real, it's for real. It don't matter who it is. They're gonna get their feelings hurt. So not yet, but maybe after she blow up on this show, I have to bring her in. She's so famous. You're
gonna be begging her to be on the show.
Hell yeah.
It's funny. I had my wife on recently. Everybody loved it. Wanted her to come back on. So she didn't want to come on at first, and we did some stuff on marriage. So I had her on. Went great. About 3 days after it came out, some friends of ours wanted her to come speak at a women's meeting for all women. So she's the main speaker now at this women's thing. I'm like, great, blow it up just off the podcast. There you go.
Oh, that's sick. Love it, man. Keep it going.
Question number 4 on the Street Gospel Furious 5. what is the most important thing to you when it comes to your legacy?
That my kids have a wherewithal, and that's financially, that's emotionally, that's logically, that they have a compass of knowing how to navigate in this world. My legacy is being that loud inner voice, like a loud one, like, damn, every time they do something, they're like, damn, they just hear me talk. Like daddy said, daddy would do, you know, and then you do it. I do it with my mom, my sister and I all the time. My mom's gone. And we always like, man, mama woulda. I want to be daddy woulda, but loud.
Nice.
I don't care about nothing else. It can come, it can come, it can go, it can go. What's essential is that. Now, it'd be nice to have some buildings named after me and football fields and all that stuff, but that's not even on my radar. What's on my radar is this voice for those who I love, who've been in my circle, that my voice is loud as hell forever.
Great perspective, man. Last question. Won't put you on the spot on this one. Greatest rapper from Compton.
Damn, that eliminates Ice Cube because he ain't from Compton, but NWA. That
was a trick question.
Easy.
Yeah.
So we got Kendrick, we got that's really in this conversation. Kendrick, who else? I mean, I can't say Quick, I can't say Ren, I can't say none of them. Who from Compton other than Kendrick? Who?
Game? What about Game?
Okay. Damn, like raw combine rapper.
Yeah.
Game would destroy all of them.
Okay, I like Game. I like Game since the first album. I like Kendrick too. I mean, Quick is like the greatest overall artist from Compton. I mean, great rapper. Like Drake beat him in producing. But Quick's right there. But rapping, I mean, he's an excellent rapper, Quick. So he's just like, I mean,
look, Quick has so many great albums, especially even the first one came out the box slamming. Here's the thing. Like, all right, if you would say favorite, my favorite rapper is from Compton, Quick. But I think this Kendrick's catalog and his reach, and he's still getting better. Like, say what you want about other rappers, it's a roller coaster. And with Kendrick, it's like that last album by Kendrick was like, I don't know, that was documentary, soap opera, like it was just an epic album. And
he created a whole new style. He created a whole new style of rap. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fast and slow, and then storytelling, and then just like it's just metaphors and everything. So, all right, I like that one. I mean, my Mount Rushmore from Compton is probably Quick. It'd be Game, Kendrick, you know, and then maybe one out of there. I think if Ren kept rapping, I used to love the way Ren rapped. I mean,
I'm with Quick,
Villain in Black,
Kendrick, and then the other one, everybody fighting for this spot is Ren, King T. Ren, King T, and somebody else you said they got to fight it out. Quick is in there though. Quick is in there. So it's tough, man. But if you throw Cube in there, they all got to go somewhere.
Yeah.
There's a little something about it.
I mean, Cube is like top 5 for me all rap.
All time.
Yeah, all time.
Yes,
I tell people that all the time. They're like, no. I go, look at his catalog. How many years? It's good.
Crazy mother from around the way.
Gangsta. Great, man. Hey, man, I appreciate you coming out again, man. Making some time for little old Dave on the Street Gospel Podcast, man.
My dog, always love D. We chop it up again. We're going to do it during the season, too. Let's get one in.
I'm down, man. We'll do it, man. Appreciate you.
And tell Taco Guy, drop off some of them tacos. Yvette, make some tacos.
He's going to love that. He's going to love that, man. I'm going to tell him, man. I appreciate you.
All right, brother. Appreciate you, man.